What is going on YouTube? Welcome back to Friday's analysis. XAUUSD trading strategy, the last video for this Friday before we do the market roundup, which is going to be on the weekend, right? So I hope you guys have had a phenomenal week with your trades. This week has been relatively really straightforward in regards to taking trade in gold, right? So before I get into all of the nitty gritty as to the analysis, opportunities that you could have seized on, even today, right? Even today, if you missed anything, right? Hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification, and drop us a like, because I believe you're going to find the content super useful. And remember, at the beginning of the week, right? At the beginning of the week, on Tuesday's video, right? All the signals are there in terms of what to do, how to do it, etc. So by subscribing to the channel, you're actually doing yourself a service. Okay, so enough with all of that. We're just going to get into the nitty-gritty of what's been going on in the market for these last couple of days, right? So just to recap, so the last video that I did on gold was on this day here, Wednesday, right? And during that, I talked about the areas that I was worried about, and that was the FVG over here and the FVG over here. These were the two things I was mainly worried about in regards to my trade on gold, because I'm still in that trade right now, and I don't think I'm going to close it for the weekend. I think I'm just going to keep it open, right? Yeah. So these were the two areas in concern. Now, what happened on Wednesday was price continued to push upwards. So we continued on this journey to push upwards. And then yesterday, Thursday, was when we finally got the signal that I was after. Now, I mainly talk about this in the video that I do in regards to the NAS 100, and which is how the weekly highs are taken out. Okay, so the first instance when we had the visit of the weekly high, that was on a Wednesday, and that was when I called it. I said, hey, this could possibly be the weekly high, and obviously I was wrong, but it did take out the previous weekly high, which was over here. Okay, so it took that one out clean, and let's just pay attention to how it actually took it out. You see that parabolic move when it takes it out? Okay, these are the kind of moves that you want to keep an eye on when market does certain things. And then what it did was it knew there were certain players in the game that will see this move and will jump in. So what it did was it wicked all the way down, and it wicked past the FVG to get them out of the situation. Maybe market was successful. There's a high probability it was successful in taking those guys out, like just taking them out of the market completely, right? So it did that, and it continued its push upwards. Okay, so say if you was one of these individuals that you got caught slipping on the Thursday, you would have had the perfect opportunity to get back into the market again. And the funny thing was, I actually saw this move as it was happening. I was talking to my friend about the whole market situation, etc., and I was like, should I join it again or not join it? And I was like, you know what, let me just see if it pans out. I'm just going to let it be, right? So I didn't join the market again. I just kept with my original position, which was this candle over here. So this one, let me just draw a circle around it. Let's make that black so it pops. Okay, so that candle, that's the one I took. So this is the one that I took, and this is the one I'm still in right now. Okay, so I didn't do anything when I saw this move. I just let it push upwards, right? The cool thing about this is I always like the situations where I see a move in the market and I can literally decide if I want to get in or not get in, right? Bearing in mind, I'm already in. So I was like, I'm not going to get in. We're just going to let it ride out and see how it goes. And then today, if you wanted to be in and grab a little bit of pips and points for yourself, okay, you had the perfect opportunity. Opportunity was created at 2 in the morning when we had our first FVG, okay? And then at 8 in the morning, market came into that particular FVG. And at 9 a.m., market started to move away from that FVG and created a second FVG. So gave you another opportunity to get into the market. Now, so that FVG was created at 10 a.m., right? market pushed all the way up, did this thing, and then came back in, tapped into the FVG, and then flew off to where it is right now. So as it stands, this is no longer the weekly high. This is the weekly high. It might need to be rejigged in the next, I don't know, couple of minutes. It could push up even higher. So that means over the weekend, I'll probably have to push it higher. That's if it goes past this level where I set it at, right? So as it stands right now for next week, things that we are looking out for is we're looking for this new level to be taken out, and we're going to revisit this whole concept again next over the weekend, where we'll have the precise location as to where everything is, right? So as it stands right now, Friday 9:34 GMT, I'm saying this weekly high right now is 2722.14. okay, I have a feeling it's going to go a little bit higher than that before market closes, and then when it does over the weekend, we'll actually set that level in, we'll set that level as it is, as that is the new weekly high for gold. And then we have the weekly low, which is down here, and that is going to be set at 2638.23. so weekly low 2638.23 and weekly high 2722.14, right? So if either one of these levels is taken out next week, we're looking for moves in a corresponding direction. Now let's be honest here, right? Okay, market coming all the way down and knocking out this weekly high, I think that's going to be a bit tight. That is going to be a bit tight. So in all fairness, chances are we would have to look for weekly highs and weekly lows for next week, and that would be Monday the 24th of October. That's when obviously we can then begin to see the new weekly low and the weekly high and see how tight they are, and depending on how tight they are, I might need to exit the market, right? But for now, I'll be holding my position over the weekend just to see how everything plays out. It's been a phenomenal week in the market. I'm not gonna lie, it's been a fantastic week. I love when I get catches like this, where like I get in at a really good, sensible level, and then it rises all the way to the top side. It just looks absolutely amazing. And the best thing is when you actually go to the day view, it actually looks even better. Like if you just look at it, and there you can see there's where my bubble is. So my bubble is right down here, and literally it went all the way up. So that just looks absolutely amazing. And like I say in most of my videos, in regards to this particular structure that we're looking at over here, the descending flags, it has a high probability of pushing upwards, and when it does push up, boy does it push up. Look at this thing go, right? So this is how this is looking right now, and let's just see how everything pans out next week. Now what I am going to do right now before we end this video is we're going to clean it all up in preparation for next week. So let's just get rid of all of this stuff here, because we don't need any of those anymore. We're going to keep the FVGs in place, and I'm just going to keep this bubble there as a reference in terms of how everything goes for next week. But in the video that I'll be doing over the weekend, we're going to be talking a lot more about the do's and don'ts in regards to market movements. But as it stands, as a pre-signal before the main signal, once again, not a financial advisor giving you financial advice, super important, okay, is that we now know that these two levels are levels of interest, but however they are so wide, like this gap is so wide right now, that I believe another one will be set next week. And that next week is where we need to decide what we're going to do and how we're going to do it. So getting on to the next stage, you should be seeing two videos. The first one is going to be on back testing. The second is going to be the previous video to this one on xauusd. So make sure you go check it out. You should see 3 videos, okay? So just go follow them all just to check the series as how we got to where we got to, right? So with all of that covered, I will see you on the next one.